What it do? It's Kimchi, and welcome to my quest for personal best. And this is week 7, day 1. And the focus today is on back squat and legs. Today, I'm going to talk about the first fight or the first fist fight I've ever got into. So it was back in middle school. I remember I was in the 7th or the 8th grade. I forget. But I would do these little hustles just to make a little extra money. I remember I would burn CDs, and I'm gonna hella age myself again. For those that are too young out there, back then we would listen to music from CD players. This was before MP3 players or iPods or iPhones or anything that played streaming music. So to listen to music, you had to buy CDs or compact discs. And I don't even know if they have CDs anywhere nowadays. But I used to burn music CDs and put songs into CDs and sell them to my friends or whoever wanted music. And I remember word got around and I was burning CDs for like $5 to anyone that wanted a music CD. And they would just write down 12 or 15 songs on a piece of paper, and I would burn that. I would burn them that music CD that same night, and then bring it in tomorrow. And that was one of my hustles. And yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool little business I had. Also, I remember in middle school, me and my homie used to chip PlayStations. Now that was a pretty dope business that we had too. So my homie he really knew how to manipulate PlayStations so it could play pirated discs or burn discs. And the same way I would burn music CDs, I would burn and copy PlayStation games. But for burned or copied games to work, you would have to use a soldering iron and melt special chips into a PlayStation for it to read and play copied PlayStation games. Now, that was a dope hustle we had. I brought a bunch of clientele, and my homie would chip PlayStations. And I would burn music CDs and burn PlayStation games. I also had a hustle of selling snacks and candy. I remember selling handy snacks and candy for like 50 cents. I would be at the grocery store or Costco with my parents. I would get a bunch of snacks and sell them at school. And yeah, that was crazy to think back then how me and the homies would start these little business ventures. Anyways, another little side hustle I got into was selling trading cards. I used to be hella into trading cards. Basketball cards mostly, and like Marvel comic cards, like X-Men cards. I would love to get like or collect Wolverine cards because Wolverine was like my favorite X-Men. So growing up, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. So I would try and buy and collect Michael Jordan cards. I would go into a comic book store and trading card stores just to look at the Beckett's every week. And Beckett's were magazines that showed you how much a specific card was worth. It was like very specific. Like it would show you how much the upper deck Michael Jordan Ultra Dunk 1997 special edition hologram card was worth that week. Anyways, as all you card collectors know, when you buy a grip of cards or a bunch of cards, you would get duplicates sometimes or a lot of times. This happened a lot. And I would buy so many cards that I would have a lot of duplicates. So with the duplicates, I started saving all the duplicates and bringing them to school to sell. And I would bring a binder full of my duplicate trading cards that I would want to sell at school. I would pass out my binder and I would put little stickers on the price of each card. And I remember it was in my 7th or 8th grade English class. It was Miss I's English class. I don't want to say her full last name, but yeah, she was one of the teachers I had a crush on. I think she was my very first teacher crush. She was beautiful. Middle school, I never really hung out with anyone. I love playing basketball. So in middle school, we had 2 breaks. The first break was called nutrition, which was like 15 minutes or 30 minutes. And the second break was lunch, which was 30 minutes or an hour. I forget. But every nutrition and lunch, I was at the basketball courts playing basketball. I didn't even have a spot that I hung around at. You could just catch me all the time at the basketball courts playing basketball. But when it rained, it was just awkward because obviously you couldn't play basketball. So I would just awkwardly walk around the school. Anyways, I digress. So I was a really good student in middle school. I'd say I would get A's and B's in all my classes. But back to Miss I's English class. Oh, heart eyes. But I remember one day I brought my binder of trading cards to sell one day, and I passed it around class to see if anyone wanted to buy anything. And if someone wanted to buy anything, they would just tell me. They would give me the money, and I would give them a card. But I always knew what I brought every day, and I would notice if something was missing. So after I gave it to, again, I don't want to name names. After I gave it to an unnamed student, um, when he gave me back the binder, one of my cards was missing. It was a gold holographic Michael Jordan card. I still remember what it looks like. So I asked that student, again, I'm not going to say names. I asked that student if he took my card. He denied it at first. And I was like, wait a minute. I know for sure I brought this Michael Jordan card to school that day, and I did not sell it yet. So I asked him again, and he denied it again. And I was starting to get pissed. Then I think he finally says he did take it. And I asked him, excuse me, to give it back, and he wouldn't. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what the fuck? Finally, the bell rings, and I confront him outside and demand that he give me the card back, and he wouldn't give it back. So I started shoving him. I was like, I ain't gonna be bitched out over here. He starts shoving me back a little bit, and I remember I shoved him so hard he bounced off the wall, and it looked like he got hella whiplash. And right when I started feeling sorry for him, I remember out of nowhere he just wildly swings and taps me on my face. I was just standing there, and I was thinking, this dude really tried to punch me? I mean, he connected, but I didn't feel anything. After that, he just runs off. I was still standing there, still wanting to fight. I was all hyped up. I was like, okay, we're going to start throwing punches. Let's go. And then he just runs off. And so I ain't gonna run after him. I remember I just grabbed my backpack, and then I just went to my next class like nothing happened. It was weird. And then out of nowhere, I get called into the principal's office or one of the head staff members of the school, one of their offices, and then the dude that took my card is in there as well. I guess someone snitched that we had a little scuffle, and we were brought in the office to discuss what happened. So we pretty much told them what happened, and after that, I got my card back. And then after we both got dismissed, we didn't dap each other up, but we acknowledged each other's. And then I asked him, I was like, "We cool?" And he said, "Yeah." And then he said, "Yeah." And then we walked back to our classes. It was weird. Like, we didn't get suspended or anything. And I remember the very, very next day. He didn't show up. He didn't show up to Miss I's class, and I remember Miss I. I remember Miss I saying a comment like, "Damn, Kimney, you must have beat him senseless," and I was like hella blushing after she said that, and I thought Miss I was like complimenting me, but she was complimenting me, but yeah, that was like my teacher crush, so I was like hella blushing. Anyways, that was pretty much my first fist fight I ever got into. But yeah, I just remember it was pretty crazy. Or that's how it happened. So anyways, today, the working sets, or the only working set, is 92.5% of your 1 rep max in your back squat, which was 420 pounds for me. 4 sets of 2, and it felt pretty dope. The squats felt really strong. I did not feel dizzy or didn't feel like I was going to pass out in any of the sets, and I didn't feel I was going to die. But yeah, something pretty hilarious happened to me today on my last set. I think it's coming up. I forgot what set I am right now, but I think it's coming up. And that last set was like one of my best sets. I felt like I had really good depth, but I think it's coming up. Oh, I think this is it right here. I think this is the last set right here. So it's a beautiful day in Vegas. I think we get like 2 weeks where the weather's like perfect, like mid 70s. Not too hot, not too cold. So felt really good working out in my garage today. But I think this is my last working set right here. There it is. There's the first rep. First rep was all right, but I like this. The second rep, I think I did really good depth. Boom. Or that was my third set. Or this must be my fourth set. They all look the same, but yeah, I remember I did 4 sets of 2 reps of 420 pounds. And usually it feels really heavy on my back, but today it didn't feel that. I mean, it felt heavy, but it didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't squat this. That's the first rep. And here's a second rep, what I think yeah, all right. So that felt good, and then this happens. So as you see there, right after I complete my last set and my last rep, which that last rep felt really good for me, I go and try and re-rack my weights I try to re-rack the weights on my rack, and then I miss one of the hooks, and then it just falls over. Luckily, didn't get injured, didn't get hurt. I stayed calm. You see me here trying to figure out how I'm going to get this other side of weights off, because if I let go on one side, it's just going to fall over. So luckily I stayed calm, and then I think I just I just start pulling out the weights one by one. But right now I'm thinking like, whew. I mean, I didn't feel like I was gonna bail or anything. I mean, the squats went up good, but I just missed one of the hooks and created a gym fail. It was bound to happen, you know. Sometimes you're just not thinking, and sometimes you're not concentrating too much on racking the weights, and then you think you got it on both of the hooks, and then you just go down. But yeah, I want to say this is the first time it ever happened to me on the squat rack. It's happened to me on a bench once, and usually I don't put clips when I bench, so I could just dump the weights on one of the sides. But I finally figure out right here that I'm just going to take the weights off one by one while holding one side, because I did not want it to tip over. But yeah, pretty funny stuff. And then I want to say if there's at least 145 on one side, it would stay. But it looks like it would stay with 245s, but I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, squats felt good. The accessories felt good. Did some lunges, some leg curls at the gym, calf raises, and overall a really good session, except for this last part where I just missed the hook. Anyways, pretty much almost done with this program. Again, this program's dope. Feeling stronger. Squats felt hella strong, the strongest I ever felt. Thanks for watching and listening, and thanks for following me for my quest for personal best. And I'll see you next time. Again, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Shoot!